Anybody on Joel's level is Kawhi, obviously. How much easier is having a player like Joel make it for you to coach, and just from the strategic strategizing and all that stuff?
Well, obviously he can score in so many ways, and just like his sheer size gets him a lot of stuff around the basket and gets him a lot of free throws, and then the shooting touch and all that stuff is the skill part that makes it, again, extra hard to stop him. But I think, again, he's like, we know he's the way he moves and the way skill he is, the size he is, all that kind of stuff, and he gets motivated like that. It's anything can happen, I guess.
What does it say about you talking about motivated? I mean, you guys go up against Minnesota, he has a huge game. He goes up against Denver, a huge game. And he kind of like baptized the young guy tonight. Just about his competitive nature against going up against other elite bigs.
Yeah, I think that he is competitive, right? I think you guys know him well enough that you've heard some of the stories about his non-basketball competitiveness too, right? He is a competitive guy, and I think that, I guess, yeah, like he certainly gets some motivation against certain guys or big nights or whatever. But I also think that, I keep going back maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, let's say, when he said, they said, what do you put this down to, Joel? And Joel just said, listen, my mindset is to go out there and dominate every night. And that's what I like to hear, that he's in a mindset that he's coming out there night after night to do what he's capable of doing, and doing it in a impressive fashion.
How aware were you that he was getting close to Wilt's Sixers record of 68 as the game was going on?
I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't. I didn't know if that was his record or what his personal high was or any of that kind of stuff. I just was continuing to coach the game. Like, the game was still, they give them credit. They were playing well, right? They were playing well, and it was, 10, 8, 11 points with still a good chunk of time to go. So I was just trying to coach the game.
As well as Victor played, it seemed like, or as well as Joel played, I should say, it seemed like Victor had him thinking about those jumpers usually takes without thinking in the mid-range. It seemed like he was making him think about it a little bit. What did you think of the performance Victor had in general?
Yeah, first of all, I thought Victor was great. I think he really got him started, right? I thought and I think that they've played a lot better recently, and it's usually when he comes out in the start of the game and kind of gets them, like, I think he gives them a bunch of confidence all around the team. He certainly did that tonight, just right off the bat, just kind of bang, and then bang to three, and I think he was, he's long. Like, for me, I got this view when I'm sitting there on the bench, and usually I can see Joel like being over everybody, and there's clearance. And I was like, said that early in the game. I said, hey, tonight's the first night Joel's actually got to go over somebody, instead of, I could see the contests from where I was sitting, and I was like, that's different. Joel does hold it in there and studies a little bit. He gets into his little, it's a little bit of dissecting the guys if they're reaching and stuff. So he does do that a little bit, but a little bit longer tonight, I think. You're right. Yeah.
In that fourth quarter, before he'd come back into the game, as you're monitoring kind of where the game stands and what the deficit is, are you in your head hoping that you can give him the fourth quarter off so he can rest a little bit, or are you wondering if he can get back in and kind of run it up a little bit?
I am always hoping we can give him the fourth, that if we're in a situation where the game's done at the end of the third and we can give him the fourth quarter off, for sure, because that was not the case tonight. Like, every time we kind of, we did get up to, I think, 19, and I thought, okay, and then they just, it was right back down to 12, 11. So I knew there was no rest, and he was coming back tonight for sure, yeah.
It's become rather routine for him to get 30, sometimes 40, but this was 70. This was a franchise record. The crowd was getting into it at the end. Has it hit home with you in the immediate aftermath, the significance of tonight from a franchise perspective for him?
Well, I would say this, this is the history here and some of the unbelievable players that have been here over the whole history of the franchise. It's probably more meaningful, tougher record to have, or more prestigious, whatever you want to say, just because of some of the guys that have been here, the great scorers that have played here for sure. But I think, again, like there's times when I kind of think in my head, like, until there's an all-out assault or a double team on him, like they're sending multiple people, he's going to probably score. So he was playing a little faster, I thought, in the second half because he was trying to get away from him before the doubles got there. But yeah, I mean, geez, it's the history of this franchise, and to have that happen tonight that's really special. The people that were here got to see something really cool tonight. That's for sure.
Nick, I'm sure you came here expecting and wanting to win, but I guess having seen Joel go from the MVP level he's at last year to an even higher level now, do you feel any like additional pressure, even good pressure, that like this is a moment that needs to be seized, like a special type of season?
I mean, listen, I think for me, like I go into every single season thinking that like this season needs to be seized, right? Like we got to figure out a way somehow to get through this thing and get up to the top. Right, every single season of how many coaching years I've had. I just want to make sure we're playing good basketball, making the right plays, continuing to get better. We've got to continue to. I think we are getting a little better. I think we're starting to read things a little bit better, but there's still a long way to go. I want to clean up, things as we keep seeing things, and we're going to see a lot more things now, which is great. And I just want us to continue to get better, make the right reads. What I'm super happy with is I think we had 28 assists and 4 turnovers. Like that's going to be hard to, if you're going to get a shot up, almost every single possession in the game and not give away, silly plays, silly passes, dribble it off your foot, whatever have you, you're going to have a really good chance to win games. And that's the kind of stuff I'm going to keep focusing on.
The scoring is going to stand out, but Joel also made like probably 3 or 4 like special passes.
Yeah, a couple cool passes.
Do you sense like maybe even more confidence in his game, attempting to make more of those kind of passes?
Yeah, I think his passing continues to get a little bit better. I think our guys' reading of where he is and where to go when stuff's happening is getting better. That's again a concern. I was super impressed with his rebounding too. I thought he really went to get the ball on the glass tonight. I think how many offensive rebounds did he have? 9? Does that say 9? Yeah, 9 offensive rebounds. I like seeing that. I like seeing because if he gets an offensive rebound, the chances are he's putting it back in or he's going to the free throw line, and he's again, it's just another way to use his unique skill set to get a possession, get an extra possession.